And okay, so it's me. I've been, this is my team. Some of you will have met them. The main people are Melissa and Lisa, who work with me on a day-to-day basis, handling all the sales calls. And if any of you are storage customers, this is Catherine. And if you've received social media posts, that would have been come from Beth recently. And Vicky is helping us today to keep order. She's a bit more experienced than I am, so this is my first time doing this like this. So thank you for bearing with me, and hopefully there won't be too many hiccups. So that's the team. I first got into Bullion in 2007 and set up the company in 2009. So I bought my first Bullion from the sale of some property. And when my experience of it, I felt like it would be something I'd like to make available to, generally to people more easily. So here we are. So we're here to help you make the best decisions possible and demystify bullying investment, and just to offer a friendly face and handhold you through the process, whatever it is that you need. We've been using FIFO as a customer review platform for a few years now, and so the last couple of years we've won the Platinum Award for constantly receiving 4.5 out of 5 throughout the 3 years before that. So over 4 years we've had rates, since we've been using FIFO really, we've had high ratings, 4.5 out of 5, constant average. So I'll come back to that a bit later on. But if you've bought anything from us, then we will generally send you a request after you purchased, asking you what you think of the service that you received and possibly one of the products, and then we can show that on our website against the product information, so other customers know what to expect. Okay, so these are the main areas I'm going to cover, and then some more questions at the end for some other bits and pieces that didn't fit neatly into these areas. And I'm going to be sending all the slides to you, so you don't need to write any of this down. Everyone that's here today will get a copy of the slides. Okay, physical bullion comes in coins, rounds, or bars. Now, round is just like, it's like a bar, but it's round. And it's not a coin. Because coins are legal tender pieces of silver, gold, platinum, palladium, generally, or rarely rhodium. There's a few rhodium coins, not many. And the format is, well, we'll come on to that a bit later on about why you might want to go for a particular shape or quality of bullion piece. In terms of grades of purity, a bullion bar is 99.5% pure minimum. We generally sell 999 or 9949s. So that's, and if you see, it's expressed in different ways on different coins and bars. So you might see, but it's parts per thousand. If it's 0.9999 or something, it's how many parts per thousand. Coins, older coins are maybe 90%, or could be 91%, 91.6, 91.6. percent, like that's equates to 22 karat gold that you might find in a sovereign or a Krugerrand. So physical bullion is very different to trading on the markets, because you have something in your hands that you can hold, you can keep it in your house, or you have it in storage, but it's fully allocated. It's not a paper contract. Okay, now I think this is the most important thing that I feel that people going into the market need to think about. And it seems a strange thing to say when you're buying something, to be straight away thinking about your exit strategy. But I think it really helps you to decide what the best thing is to buy. So this is about thinking about the time, you know, the time frame, go through different times in your life as to what will happen to your investment, or what might happen to different points where you might want to pull it out, where you might want to turn it back into cash. So the length of time that you're going to keep something could influence what you buy, and how long you hold it, how long you're going to hold it. So as we talk more about the different metals, I'll come back to this point of timing. Liquidity, what denominations would be most useful in the future? What that means is, you know, what sizes you're going to go for. Are you going to buy something small so that when you sell it, it's going to be a few pounds, a few £100, thousands of pounds, tens of thousands of pounds? You know, how much do you want to break that down into? It's like what you might carry in your wallet. Think about your bullion holding in the same way. And also how quickly you may want to sell it. And when you come to sell it, how are you going to get it to your bullion dealer? If you've got a kilo of gold, that's really difficult to send in the post and insure. So you'll be most likely to be driving to deliver it to your bullion dealer. So tax, capital gains tax, inheritance tax, and VAT, in case anyone doesn't know what those acronyms mean. So capital gains tax is the tax on the gain, the difference between the buy and the sell price. Inheritance tax is obviously the taxes when you die on your estate, and VAT is a purchase tax, which, unless you're VAT registered, you can't reclaim. So the bullion that you're buying is, you know, may be affected by some of these taxes. And again, I'm going to cover on how you can mitigate against some of them later on. And I put in a warning. I was just thinking, it was in the light of some of the questions that I've had about trading. You know, people have asked me, you know, what's the best way to get into the market with a small amount of money, and various other trading type questions. You can trade precious metals, but for short-term investing, where you're going to buy and sell, switch between metals on maybe a frequent basis, don't do it with physical, because it'll end up costing you far too much. And the reason for that is the difference between the buy and the sell price. If you're dealing with a paper product, then the difference between the buy and the sell price is tiny, because it's not it's not a real physical item that's being moved around, but it is something you can trade on. But it does come with different risks. I don't want to go too much into that subject here because there just isn't time to cover everything. But I just felt that I just wanted to make that difference quite obvious. Okay, so here we risk management and what part precious metals can play. Okay, so they help you to diversify your portfolio of assets. I would never say to somebody only buy precious metals, because we never know how any single market is going to behave. And so if you've got a little bit of money in the stock market, you might have some property, you might have other assets, you might have business assets of your own. You know, think about spreading it around a bit. Different markets will affect different investments in a different way. But the good thing about precious metals, well, gold, is that it tends to go, it doesn't always go the opposite way to the stock market. But when the stock market is going down, it will tend to go up. And the same with property. When property is going down, gold will tend to go up. The other metals that we sell, silver, platinum, palladium, they're more linked with industry. So they can do well when the stock market is booming as well. So, you know, when you come to deciding what you're going to invest, you can always give us a call and chat these things through. I'm not expecting to be able to answer everyone's question, you know, in a Zoom webinar like this, but you know, it's just something to bear in mind. But diversification does help you reduce overall risk, whichever assets you choose to put it into. And oftentimes getting in and out of certain markets can carry quite a lot of cost. So chopping and changing too much isn't always a good thing. But, you know, just keep your eye on you know, what's going on. And, you know, there are lots of options available. So protection against digital threats. Now, this has come up more lately. I think this has become you know, quite a big consideration, and many of our customers are not happy about having cash in the bank. And cash in the bank is also one of the questions I had. You know, does cash in the bank lose its value? Well, yes, it does, because interest rates are pretty low and inflation reduces your buying power. So leaving your cash in the bank doing nothing is a threat, is a risk in itself. Not to mention, you know, potential of government control if you were, you know, if you get onto the wrong side of somebody. It's not something that happens very often, but people have asked me about that, and it is a worry. So they don't like to be too exposed in any one area. And there have been times when there's been bail-in where the banks said, oh, we need your money, we need your savings, you've got too much. At the moment, there is a guarantee, I believe, of about 85,000 per account or per person, per bank, but that could change at any time. We saw a situation in Canada with the truckers where they didn't like the behavior, they didn't like that some people supported the truckers' convoy, so bank accounts were frozen. I believe that was reversed, but it is a worry. So having something physical means that you know, you have perhaps a little bit more control over your asset than if it's digital. The same goes a bit for crypto too. Crypto policies can change in a heartbeat, so it's something just we need to keep an eye on. Okay, so you're thinking about investing. First thing is to work out, you have a clear plan and come from a place of feeling like grounded, that you're you know, don't start with it from a place of fear. If you're worried about things, try and put your worries to one side or talk them through with someone, and make sure that whatever your decisions are, that they you know, it makes good sense in lots of different scenarios. So you know, I mentioned about some of the digital risks, but you know, you might be buying because of fear, but that's not the best reason to go into something. Do it also because you think it makes good, solid, makes sound sense. So current time, we're in a situation, we've got lots of things going on in the economy. There's wars, there's stock markets very, very high, showing signs of weakness. House prices are overinflated, and we've got, you know, think about what's going on. Does it make sense to have a little bit of something else? You know, maybe it's not precious metals, maybe the right thing is something different at the current time. You know, get some help if you need some advice. Talk it through with people. Just try to avoid knee-jerk reactions, I think. Okay, bars, rounds, or coins. So I should have brought some props really to show you some different pieces. So generally, a bar will be, especially the larger bars, are cheaper. They've got lower premiums for you know, when you're buying them. So the premium is the price above the spot price that you pay, and the spot price is the market price. So it's realizing how strange it is not having a room full of people. So I'm just thinking about whether I flick through to show you some things. We'll do that later on, and when we get chatting about the questions. So bullion bars have less work in them generally, and they're cheaper, particularly when you're buying silver. Bars can be work out cheaper than coins, but they don't give you that same liquidity that we talked about earlier. So it's the choice between bars, and they come in all different sizes, from 1 gram up to 400 ounces, which would be a market, what is called a market bar, that would get traded on the exchange. The ones we sell generally go to about a kilo in size, so we sell everything in that range. But for reasonable liquidity, if you go for the ounces and above, the premiums tend to be a little bit lower than when you're buying coins. But coins will give you the advantage of capital gains tax exempt if you buy UK bullion coins or proof coins. And the rounds are just can be pretty coin-looking pieces or medallions, but they're not legal tender of any country. We sell coins from countries all around the world, and the capital gains tax loophole would apply to the coin of the country that you're in when you come to sell it. So, you know, Canadian maples, Australian kangaroos, American eagles, Chinese pandas, and so on. So we have a wide range on our website, and if you want to go and have a look at them, and many of them.
In terms of the coins, sorry, I know, my apologies for interrupting you firstly.
Actually, it's quite a nice interruption.
Yeah, I'll just save your voice box. Obviously, you touched on some of the coins there, and obviously all coins are not equal. So it'd be interesting to hear some of your views, or maybe you were going to touch on this later about more desirable coins, or obviously we're UK based. Some people Britannia. Also, people like to add into maybe American flows or Eagles. So as I said, it's all coins are not equal, but sometimes it is dependent on what your host country is. So to hear your from that, as you've kindly on some of the coins available on your website, which is amazing, by the way, and your service is exemplary. So 5 stars.
Thank you very much. The coins that they're a collector's coin, so we're just bringing out the Tudor beasts. I feel like I should be showing you them while I'm talking, but I'm just worried about the technology and that I'll mess it up, really. If you could bear with me, I will open up a browser and, oh, I don't want that. Move this, yeah.
Most women can multitask, unlike men, so I'll allow you to multitask. But sometimes I travel quite a lot, so I do purchase sometimes gold from places such as Turkey, mainly jewelry. That's a personal choice anyway. But also sometimes I do see coins. I've purchased gold in Bangkok, in Hong Kong, process in terms of price. I mean, it'd be nice to know if a Britannia, is that possible, your company? To purchase, say, Bangkok a coin, okay, and brought it to the UK range of a Britannia.
You're really breaking up. Could you put your question in the chat?
Will do. Apologies.
Thanks. That's all right. It's going in and out.
Yeah, I don't know how. Are you seeing my screen okay? Can you see the coins on the screen?
Yeah, we can see the coins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are some of the collector's coins the gentleman was talking about. I'm sorry I didn't catch your name and it wasn't shown high up on the. So anyway,
It was Richard.
Richard, thank you, Richard. So here are some of the collectible coins that we do, and these ones are sold at a slight premium. When the best time to buy these coins, if you are thinking about them, is get them as soon as they come out, because especially if they're part of a set, they become more difficult for us to get the earlier editions, and they get more expensive. So if that's something that you're interested in, they are really nice coins to keep. You know, they are quite collectible. As I had another question about, I've got the whole set of the Queen's Beast coins. Isn't now the right time to sell, or should I keep them for a long time? It's difficult to know. There are, when we talked about exit strategy earlier, if you're thinking of buying something specific, like a proof coin or a graded coin or one of these collectible coins, have a look at what you'll get for it when you sell it, and think about who you're going to sell it to. We will pay a bit more for certain coins if we know that they are in high demand, but otherwise we're going to be paying bullion prices. So, you know, just something that's really important for people to bear in mind before they commit large amounts of money, I think, to particularly very expensive coins. these start off slightly more than a Britannia coin or something, so they're a bit more affordable than buying a boxed product from the Royal Mint when it's first released by them. So just I can come back to that, or if anyone's got anything specific they want to talk to me about, you know, in the days that follow, then happy to go into more detail. But I think probably enough on that at the moment. So yeah, so bullion grade is a good quality coin. You can send them off to be graded. I believe, I don't know, I've never done it, but I think it just costs a few pounds. You can send off a batch of coins and get them graded, and some people resell them with a markup on them. But if you do it yourself, I don't think it costs perhaps more than about £20, maybe 20 to 50 pounds. I really couldn't say. It's something that if you're interested in that, look into it. But we don't sell graded coins. We sell proof coins sometimes when people sell them back to us. One of the things I think to watch out for is there are companies that sell limited edition coins, and they are very beautiful and nice to have, but when you want to sell them, are you going to get more money for them than what you paid? Will the company who sold them to you buy them back from you, and what price will they give you? I'm not going to name any companies, but I have had customers come to me needing to sell coins and a bit disappointed at what I can pay them. And those coins don't, you know, they don't fly off my shelf, even if when I sell them at a fair price. So, and it's just something to bear in mind. Right, lump sum or regular purchases. Now, this is a strategy again. When you buy, are you going to buy in one go? And that you might have inherited some money, or you might have sold a property, and you might have a lump sum of money that's in the bank. You're not comfortable with having cash in the bank for some of the reasons we talked about. Or you want your money to be working for you, doing something. So you've got a lump sum to invest, and that's one way that people will buy, and they'll try and find a good time to buy, but timing can be difficult since we can't regulate the markets. We don't know what they're going to do, and they are unpredictable. Or another way is regular purchases, and this sort of thing will suit people who have regular amounts of money that come in, and they want to save in precious metals. So they'll, you know, and over a period of time, sometimes they'll get a better deal than others because the market goes up and it goes down. So, you know, that's called cost averaging. That is actually a strategy. And you can do the same thing when you're selling as well. Don't have to sell it all at once. You can sell it in pieces. And you'll remember I mentioned about liquidity. That's, you know, one thing that liquidity gives you. If you've bought a kilo of gold, you can't sell 1 ounce at a time. But if you've bought it in 1 ounce bars or coins, that's 32 pieces that you can sell at different times. You won't get paid less, you don't get paid more money for a bigger bar when you sell it. Regular, yeah. So that's I think that's a really useful thing to think through. I had a customer who used to come to me selling silver every time they wanted to go on holiday, and that was, you know, how they'd saved their money through their lifetime, and their kilos, bars of silver paid for their cruises. Unfortunately, they've sold it all now, so they've had to Airbnb one of their rooms. Okay, so understanding the impact of premiums. Smaller versus larger coins and bars. So the smaller the piece, the larger the premium, because it costs about the same to create a small piece as a bigger piece. So it's the manufacturing, the handling, packaging, sort of it's you know, we're dealing with a retail product. If you're buying a larger coin or bar, then that premium can be very much reduced. So, you know, one way of comparing things is if you're buying on a website, put similar things in a basket in terms of the weight. And like, say you were going to buy, you're thinking about a kilo of silver, put a kilo is 32.15 troy ounces, and troy ounce is 31.1035 grams. I'll send you these. I'm going to send you out a sheet with some of the main points that I've covered, and also this these slides. So and some of the jargon, some of the words, hopefully I've explained as I've gone along, but I apologise if there's something I've said that somebody didn't understand. You'll get that, but I've lost my train of thought now. So yeah, the very small bars and very small coins have much higher premiums than the larger ones. As you get over an ounce, the differences become less, so it becomes less important. Yeah, in shopping basket. So if you put 32 ounces of gold in your shopping cart, so it could be 1 ounce bars, or it could be coins or something, or you could use metric pieces. So you've got a kilo, 1 kilo would be the same as 10 100 gram bars, or 4 250 gram bars. And you can just see how much extra it costs you to have the liquidity. But if you're a capital gains taxpayer, you will pay capital gains tax on bars if you go over your annual threshold. Again, that can be managed more easily with the smaller bars. So I think that covers that point. Different metals. Okay, so gold has got the smallest spread. And what I mean by that, the spread is the difference between the buy and sell price. So you'll see a market buy and sell price if you look on, say, Kitco, or you know, some of these other applications that give you the gold prices. So you've got a buy and the sell, or the bid and the ask price. So that's the difference, is the market spread. And then when you buy something physical, you've got the other bit of the spread. So when you're selling back to a dealer, you expect to receive anything between 96 and 100%, or maybe a little bit extra if it's one of those ones that I really want, because I haven't got any, and I know there's loads of people on my wait list that I might pay you spot plus a bit more. But generally it's below spot when you sell and above spot when you buy. When you buy, you're paying the fabrication, which is the cost of manufacturing. You're paying for my staff, all my overheads, and the postage and all of that, because that's all included in the price. Everything, all our profits, all the costs are included in the price of what you buy. So, and the difference between those two prices is the spread. And on gold coins and bars, it's less than it would be on silver, platinum, palladium, rhodium. And that is all down to the costs. Really, it's the costs plus the VAT. So the only one that doesn't have VAT is gold. So that's, you know, apart from understanding the market differences and the behaviours of the different metals, that's the premiums on different metals. Okay, so when is a good time to buy? And one of the questions I had was, what about when prices are high? Well, my question is always, where are we now? You know, are prices high? Are they going to go higher? Generally, when you see a very high peak, very sharp move, I always expect or hope and pray that the price will come down a bit, especially if I need to go and buy some more. And I'm always buying and selling, you know, of course, because of in the market. So I want prices to be down when I buy, same as you do. And I try and buy in the dips and not so much when they're high, but sometimes, you know, you can't avoid it, you don't know. And if the price is high, you don't know it's not going to go higher. So that's all I can really say about that. You know, this is where cost averaging comes in, and that's the beauty of it, because you don't worry so much about what the price is doing. Yeah, still try and buy the dips, but don't worry too much, because maybe next month the prices will be down a bit and you might get a bit more for your money or pay a bit less for the same size piece. So okay, so what to look for in a bullion dealer? What do their price, what should be, what does their price include? What do their prices include? Now for us, if you're in the UK, we'll send it to you, everything, including postage, packaging. It's all included. We don't give, if you're buying a tube, if you're buying more than one coin, if you want capsules for all of your coins, then you'll need to buy those. But apart from that, the actual pieces that you see, that's what you get for the price that you see. And the more you buy, the cheaper it is in most cases. So yeah, can you get hold of the bullion dealer if you need to talk to them? I've found sites where they've got phone number and they've got a website, they've got a phone number, but nobody answers the phone. You just get an answer machine. If that's, you know, if they can only take questions by email, then how long till they get back to you? You know, is that the level of support that you're happy with? That might be. They might have great prices, and you know, that might be what you're looking for. But if you need somebody that you can talk to, then just make sure that that's what you're going to get. Sometimes it's, especially if you're going to spend a large amount of money with someone, don't just go online and buy something, because they might, I mean, if someone rings me and they said, I want to buy a kilo of gold, my response is usually, are you sure you want a kilo of gold? And I try to talk to them a little bit and find out a bit more about what they're looking for and what they're expecting to get out of it. And some of these things I've shared with you today, and make sure that when they've bought it, they're still going to be happy with the purchase and not going to think, oh, I wish somebody told me about Britannia's and I could have saved myself the capital gains tax in the future by buying those instead of the kilo bar that I bought. So just ring up, say hi. You don't have to be anything major, but it might just put your mind at ease, you know, when you're dealing with a largish sum of money. To us, a large sum of money isn't a figure, it's what it is to you. So everyone's situation is different, and we do try to treat everybody the same, whether you're just buying one single silver coin or whether you're buying a kilo or so of gold or whatever. So do you know if they will buy back from you and roughly what rate? So this will change according to the product. So if you're, it's a good thing to know, because it might change what you buy. And you don't get the VAT back when you sell, unless you're a VAT registered business and you've bought through your company, and you would have to sell to us with a VAT receipt. So how do they handle problems, and do you trust them, and are they reliable? Well, go and have a look at reviews, trawl the internet. You'll always find a negative comment, because, you know, as much hard as we try to please everybody, there are always those people who manage to be offended by something even nice that you've done, and it's very frustrating, but it does happen. But just have a look and see how even those situations are handled. And you know, the best way to you know, is go for a recommendation from a person that you know as well. I think something which people struggle with when they get into precious metals is they often don't know anyone else who does it, who knows anything about buying precious metals. And so their family, their friends might think they're a bit mad, but because they don't understand it. You know, when it's something that you've grown up with, and you understand, if you're from an Asian family, I expect, you know, precious metals will be in your blood. It's something you've grown up with. It's something that everybody does, and every celebration, you know, in some cultures is celebrated by gifts of gold, silver, whatever. But in the UK, we tend to not trust ourselves. We're told to trust our financial advisor and our doctor to look after us when we're ill or when we need money advice. We're not told that we need to get educated and that we need to you know, trust ourselves eventually, because we're the people who live with the decisions that we make. I can't make a decision for you, which is why I want to tell you all of this stuff so you can decide for yourself. I think it's just really important. Okay, so I'm on to questions now. So these are the questions that I had. So some of these I might have covered already as we've gone through. So relationship between spot and retail price. I'll just mention that again. Spot price is the market price, and the retail price is the price that we sell something for, and the product price varies according to how much it costs us to buy it and what we need to charge in order to be able to post it to you. Physical versus ETFs, right? An ETF is an exchange traded fund. And an exchange traded fund is a paper contract that represents a physical gold, silver, platinum, palladium, etc. And you can buy and sell these on an exchange, and they're supposed to be fully backed, but They are not, because it's not allocated, it's not held in storage in your own account. If something happens to the company, to the fund, you can lose your money. So if you're going to get involved with one of these, do your research, check them out. What ratings do they have, etc. It's not something I know a lot about, but you know, just make sure if you do want to do that, do your homework. But like I said earlier, if you're a trader, you're better off in something like that than you are buying physical from me, because you'll lose less money in the transaction. Physical metal is a long-term buy and hold. It's where you park your money, where you park your profits, and you forget about them. And you know, so right, gold silver ratio and swapping between metals. Again, this is like a trading strategy, and if you're going to do that, doing it with physical gold and silver can be expensive because of the cost of buying and selling. The gold-silver ratio is high at the moment. You get a lot more silver than you do for your money than you do for gold, which is why silver is favoured by lots of investors. There are many people who believe that the price is being suppressed and manipulated. Well, I think all market prices are manipulated, and the amount of paper transactions that are out there really helps the market makers to manipulate prices. So I'm afraid we're a bit stuck with that. But personally, I believe in spreading it around. I've got a bit of gold, I've got some silver, and I've got some palladium. And you know, as a dealer, I also have a bit of platinum, but not really as part of my strategy overall. Personal holdings, mainly gold, silver, and palladium. Just because they are, not because there's anything wrong with platinum. I think it's definitely worth considering, and it's a lot cheaper than it used to be in relation to gold. Someone said, what happens to bars when you sell? Why do some dealers melt them? Well, I would send something for melting if I wasn't sure where it came from. And because melting is the only way you can really guarantee of what's in something. So if I'm not 100% happy with something I buy in, I might say I need to send it off to be assayed, which would involve melting it, and then I'll pay based on the assay. Same with jewellery. If you want to sell scrap jewellery, it has to be melted, really. We will resell things when we have, you know, ideally in original condition and with receipts, proof of purchase. You know, it's important to look after your paperwork for that reason. Should we invest in silver as gold is dearer? Same, ditto what I said earlier. It's something we can chat about if anyone wants to talk to me about that. I think a bit of both isn't a bad thing. Silver prices are rumoured to become more expensive than gold, but I don't know, that may just be a rumour. I think silver will go up. The uses for silver are a lot more than they are for gold. I think it's recycled less than gold is, but like this is just my opinion. when I was asked about rhodium, I didn't think in the early days that it was a good investment. Rhodium at the time was trading around £600 an ounce. It went up to £22,000 an ounce. So I cannot advise anybody on what metal they should buy or not buy. I still think rhodium is risky because it moves back down just as fast as it goes up. And it's now trading around something like 13,000 an ounce. So look, do your research. Gold is it's not as exciting as the others, but it's safer. So I always come back to gold as being my favorite metal, really. Even though it's more expensive, you just buy less of it. And it's easier to store as well, because it takes up less space. What are the storage options? Okay, VAT-free silver. We can, if you want to buy any of the metals that have VAT on them, we do have a customs warehouse option. So as long as you don't take possession of your metal, it will be held fully allocated in your name in a customs warehouse, and you will never have to pay VAT as long as you don't actually take possession. If you do later decide to take possession, and this is something I'm doing for a lady soon, she will have to pay the VAT that she would have paid when she bought it. So we then just charge the VAT, and then she can have it. So we will remove it from storage, and she's going to take it back. But if she sold it back to us, then there would be no VAT to pay. We just buy it back. It's very, very easy. When will silver begin to fight back suppression? Don't know. When it suits the powers to be, is you know, I wish we had more power as individuals, but there is a lot we can do ourselves. But there are some things that we're stuck with. I think this is possibly one of them. We don't have the buying power. But what indicators do you use to monitor the big picture? I like to look at charts. On our website now, you can see along the bottom of these. My internet's very slow here, I apologise. Okay, so this is charts are available on our website. You know, if that's 1 month. So if I look at 1 year, so that's this year, 5 years. So, and then this is underneath, I think this is volumes that you see in the grey. So that's how many trades in the day there are. So this is all available on our website for you to drill down into and have a play with if you want to. Okay. The other thing I use is I just use my common sense. You know, what's going on? You know, what stories are out there? What are we not seeing? What's going on? You know, what else is bubbling away underneath? And so that's what I use. I just use my senses, and I try to just stay awake, really. Look at charts. Okay, possible effects of war and other events. They tend to cause spikes. COVID lockdowns cause a spike. Brexit caused a spike. Certainly a spike in orders, not always a spike in the price immediately. But that's when people start thinking, oh, I need to have some precious metals. I need to feel safer. And that's when it kicks off. Is money losing its value? Yes. How easy would it be for a government to freeze investors' precious metals with you? We use 2 companies for our storage. We use Loomis International. They do logistics for supermarkets and banks, but they're a PLC. They are not a bank. They are not government-funded organisation. It's not like having your coins in storage at the Royal Mint, guarded by the police. So our metals are insured and held with professional custodians. I can't answer every single question. I can't predict anything that could possibly happen. You know, we can plan to protect ourselves, try and protect ourselves against every conceivable eventuality. There'll always be something, as I was reminded recently, that will come at you from a different direction that you're least expecting. So there are only so many things you can plan for. And at the end of the day, if you get into something like this and it doesn't quite go how you're hoping, don't give yourself a hard time. Everyone makes mistakes, even the professionals. So, you know, the last thing you should ever do is berate yourself too much for actually taking some action and being brave and doing something. So how does that work when you sell back to a dealer? You lose, yeah, like I said before, we can't give you back the VAT that you paid unless if you're VAT registered, you can invoice us plus VAT on the agreed price. How does one go about investing in precious metals apart from stacking? Stacking is you know, like just continually buying pieces of gold, silver, saving over a period of time. So lump sum investments, and you know, the other markets I talked about. Someone asked me about how you can make money. I don't think I put it in here. With a very small amount of money, investing in precious metals. I've done spread betting. That's the only way I know to do that with a very small amount of money. But you have to be really good at it. So, and you can spend a lot of time stuck in front of the screen. And my experience was I lost some and I won some, and I lost lots of time and I broke even, and then I gave up. So, but it is a way that you can make money in precious metals if you're good at it, but you have to play the markets and you have to work with derivatives. When and how is the best time to sell a collection of coins? I think very often when it's just completed, maybe might be a good time, or hang on to it for a longer time. Have a look at the market, have a look on auctions. Auction might be a good place for something like that. You can sell back to us, that we won't necessarily pay the same premium that you might get if you shopped around for selling something like that. Okay. How do you deliver, and does the postman courier know what they're carrying? Our packaging is very discreet. We tend to use oversized packaging so that you can't tell that there's something small and valuable inside it. We use the Royal Mail we use a courier service. We use special delivery, and we ensure we take responsibility for it getting to you safely. Once it arrives with you, then the responsibility is yours. Will you accept crypto payments in the future? We tried to get a BitPay gateway, but we were unsuccessful. We got turned down. Don't know why. This is becoming more and more difficult. I think possibly if you can pay on a card, a prepaid crypto card, we might be able to accept those. If you've got something like that, maybe we could try with something small, see if it works. So I don't know. I don't know if anyone's already paid me with one of those crypto payment cards through the normal gateway, the merchant gateway. We accept debit cards, credit cards up to £10,000, and then after that it's bank transfer generally, or cash. If you pay cash, you have to pay our bank fees, which are 1.5%. So right, that's all of the questions that I had in advance. So we're not doing too bad on time. So Vicky, have you got some questions?
Yeah, there's quite a lot in the chat here, so I'm just going to go through. So I might pronounce this place wrong, but do you think, so Tanya asked, do you think the coins from Palau are a good investment, and would you be likely to, in the future, to stock them?
Palau.
P-A-L-A-U, and that's come up in 2 questions.
I don't even know what that is.
Someone else has asked, do you think the coins from that place, Palau, are a good investment? And would you be, oh, right. Oh, yeah, someone else has asked the same question.
Do you want to?
Hi. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Palau is a small ocean, which is it. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're breaking up a bit.
Yeah, they basically sell very, very, very unusual coins. So, for example, they're about to release a flat earth coin, which is 3 ounces of silver. It's encased in a dome. They're highly collectible. And as I say, the island will eventually go underwater. It's only got 4 meters of above sea level at the moment. It is. It's going to basically do the same thing as the Solomon Islands. And I've been following them for some time on eBay, and people seem to be, you know, really sort of crying out for them. Yeah. It might be something they would appeal, I would think, to a large section of the conspiracy sort of sector of society.
Yeah. If you send me a link, Tanya,
yeah,
then I'll look into it for you.
Brilliant.
I've never heard about those, but there are some of these companies though that are out there that make coins to target collectors. They create a lot of hype about things. You know, I've had moon landings ones, I've had this, that, and the other, and they might have got onto one of these things and they might be creating them. So you want to just see who's actually making them, and they might be limited edition. But you know, I'll look into it. If you send me the link, I'll have a look. Might not be what you think it is, though.
Okay, that's brilliant. The company is actually PowerCoin. It's the Italian mint that mint them for them. But for example, you know, the coins that were a coin now, you're looking sort of like the price increases. I mean, some of the ones from 2017 are worth over £1,000 now, okay. and collectors are paying for it on eBay, you know. So, yes. But I'll send you all the details, Karen. Thank you for that.
Have a look. Thanks.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay. There's Richard asks, as a UK resident, I try and stick to a stable base of purchasing 1 ounce Britannia coins. However, I also buy American Buffalo coins and American Eagle coins. Is this a good or bad strategy?
if you think you might go and live over there, then maybe it is a good strategy. So it's not bad. I mean, those coins, if you sell them, they won't be capital gains tax free when you sell them, but as long as you're under your threshold, maybe that doesn't matter, because you won't pay it anyway. You know, you'll still be within the band. It depends how many you have, but you know, it's nice to have a bit of variety as well.
Would you say for desirability, however, that the buffalo or American eagle is more of a desirable coin on the world stage as opposed to just being in the UK?
Don't know, possibly. The buffalo is a 24 carat coin and the eagle is a 22 carat gold coin, but they've both got an ounce of gold in them. I don't know if you're aware of that. Just something I didn't mention to people. That ounce coins like Krugerrands and eagles are made from 22 carat gold, and the earlier Britannia coins as well, but they still have an ounce of gold in them, so their weight is different from the pure gold ones. All right.
Another question, does your company exchange foreign coins, say purchased in Hong Kong or Thailand?
Exchange them for what?
That was Richard again. It's the same Richard.
Yeah, I was just asking, so obviously other have their own coins.
I didn't catch that.
Would you exchange?
You're breaking up.
For content, i.e. would you buy them for on a bullion basis or its pneumatic value?
If they're bullion coins, I'd pay bullion prices. I'd buy them as bullion. When we buy coins from people, if we get lots of random coins, there's quite a lot of work in actually creating a listing for them as well. So, you know, we have a shop, and you know, so it's like maintaining a shop, even though it's not a physical shop, it still takes quite a lot of work. So, you know, you might be better off doing some work yourself if you've got something you think is worth more than the bullion value, and trying to sell it somewhere like eBay or somewhere that's perhaps somewhere you trust, privately on a group or something. Difficult, that's a tricky one. You can always give me a call, Richard, if you think you've got lots of questions, specific questions like this, then maybe we'll take this offline.
Someone asked, what is proof coin?
A proof coin is it's minted to a much higher standard. They generally come in a fancy box with a certificate and will be limited editions. And things like, if you have a look on the Royal Mint website, you'll see their proof coins are coins that they sell. They generally they're at least 30% more expensive than just a bullion coin.
1 ounce gold bars versus 1 ounce gold coin, what is the better investment or more desired?
A 1 ounce gold coin is, if it's a British coin, it would be capital gains tax free. A bar is not. When it comes to us buying, we'd pay the same, pretty much. Coins are maybe slightly more desirable to us as a dealer than bars, but they're both very popular. So we would pay around the same prices for those.
If you wanted to buy gold, silver coins from a shop instead of online, like an actual bricks and mortar shop, then where can you find these shops? Do, for example, jewelers sell them or elsewhere?
Sometimes there are physical. We have a shop. We actually sitting in it. No, it doesn't look like a shop. I bought a bar, and that's my shop, and our office is in the back here. But we can arrange to meet people and have meetings here, and yeah, and if there's specific things you want to have a look at, we can arrange for them to be here for you to see. but we don't have tire kickers. So we keep it very, you know, people walking in here, it looks like you're walking into a bar.
So there's a few conversations on copper. What is your opinion on copper bullion bars?
It's not something I'm involved in at the moment. I don't really have an opinion on copper. I think, well, if you think about silver, that silver, having a large value of silver and keeping that physically, is going to take up a lot more space than big silver bars to have copper bars to look after. So I would probably, if I was going to buy copper, I might be tempted even to buy a paper version.
There's it's worth downloading the chat 'cause there's quite a lot of conversation going on. Is the principle of holding 10% to 15% in gold still true to this day and age? Is the principle of holding 10% to 15% in gold still true?
Sharing, and then maybe I can see this. All right. Hang on.
So,
right, the chat. Oh yeah, there's a lot of...
yeah. I'll go. I'm picking the highlights. Okay. How does data protection work? Do you keep a database of customer orders or just account details, e.g. address, contact, for some point in the future if the government wanted the information about individual purchases?
We have, it's on our site, we have all our order history for every customer. So, but as to handing that over, kicking and screaming, I'd be.
They'd have to have a good reason, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Is it better to cash in scrap silver and put those funds into bullion?
You could do. Scrap silver. I mean, it's going to be. Yeah. If you can find scrap silver at good prices, then you know it's something we can look at. We can get it sent off and turn back into money when you can use that to buy something that's easier to store. So, but buying and selling for the sake of it isn't always the right thing to do. I'll have a chat if Bernie wants to talk about that separately.
Is platinum undervalued?
I don't know, possibly. Again, research the metals and decide for yourself.
Also, what's the ideal premium range to pay for either gold or silver coins?
The amount of money you're happy with. So
that's the main questions. There's other bits there if you download it.
Yeah, I'll have a look at all the questions, but you know, I think that those are the main things. Yeah, if anyone wants to jump in and asks anything else that they feel I've missed. Oh, very quiet.
I think we've answered most of them.
That's great.
Would you advise to buy 1 ounce coins or quarters or half ounces, or does it really matter? Going back to your principle of they call it like dollar cost averaging, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, 1 ounce is cheaper as a premium, and the quarters are so quarter ounce. If you're looking at British coins, then the quarters and the sovereigns are very similar sizes. You'll probably pay a bit more for the quarter ounces than you will for sovereigns, especially if they're something like best value ones. You can pick them up a bit cheaper. The 1/10 of an ounce ones tend to be a bit more expensive, but you might want to have a little selection. But if you're going to have a lot of something, do it in the ounces.
This is a good one to end on if you wanted to. Can coins be used as currency under apocalyptic conditions to buy products, food, etc.
The lowest value for a coin will be on it, will it be its face value. So you're like a gold Britannia is £100 face value. We hope that they're worth a lot more than that, because the bullion price is around £1,500. Apocalyptic situations, it's anything can happen. So, but it's money is handy. It's really difficult to swap a service that you have for something that someone else has. So this is how money came about in the first place. And precious metals are a form of money that can't easily be replicated, which is one of the attractions. So this is where the small pieces come into their own. Yeah. So someone's put bartering, yeah. I mean, we'll probably always come back to some form of money, some kind of system that we can use to exchange one thing for another thing. And precious metals are just, it's just been so historic, really. So yeah, I agree. Food and water will be far more valuable than gold, and probably other things too. But we also have to plan for there not being an apocalypse. And that comes back to it. Does it still make sense? If the answer is no, don't buy it. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I hope that I've answered everyone's questions, and come back to me. Thanks for your time tonight as well, and thank you, Vicky, for taking the pressure off. It really helped.
My pleasure. It was really interesting.
Okay. Right. Well, I think we'll say good night then. All right. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Paul,
you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
If you stop the recording, it should then save.
Right.
And it will ask you where to